Hello, and welcome to episode number 1 of season number 2. Oh my gosh. Well, technically it's episode number 53, but it is episode number 1 of season number 2. Wow, I can't believe it. Like, it's been a year, 52 weeks of once a week episodes. That's like 52 episodes. Like, wow. In today's show, I'll be doing a top 10 approach where I'll be talking about 5 things about the show and 5 things about me as your host. I've heard from many of you that you want to know a little bit more about me. So in today's show, you'll get that opportunity. Also, I'll be sharing with you the discount code for saving 30% off the Choose Happy Affirmation cards. And I will let you in on a new product offer that I created over the summer. This too is on sale for the month of October in honor of the podcast's first birthday. So if you've been holding out purchasing the card decks, this is your perfect opportunity to save money and finally get them into your hands as part of your everyday routine. So come on in and let's review top 10 things about the Choose Happy with Marie show and about me, your host. Hey girlfriend, welcome to the Choose Happy with Marie show. Do you want to stop seeing the negative every day and have the time and energy to do what you want? Are you finally done with the limiting stories and the fear that stands in your way of living a happy life? Does negative self-talk sabotage your self-confidence? Hi, I'm Marie. For the majority of my life, I lived in negativity that was often labeled as depression. My breakthrough happened when I broke free from the negative thinking and I learned the power of choosing happy. In this podcast, you will find tangible ways to ditch the negativity, improve your self-esteem, and take action for what you really want for your life. No more guilt, no more people pleasing. Let's do this. We are choosing happy. Hello. I am so happy you're here. 1 year, 52 episodes, 52 weeks of showing up here consistently on a weekly basis. For those of you that have been with me from the beginning, I am so grateful that you've chosen to join me in choosing happy for living your everyday life. And for those of you who have just discovered the show, welcome. There is so much negativity that we're constantly surrounded by on a daily basis that to live a happy life, it requires so much intention to live it. I hope you've been able to implement things from listening to the show that has improved your life. In today's show, as I mentioned in the opening, I'm reviewing 5 things about the show and 5 things about me. Listing out the 5 things about the show was actually relatively easy, factual information. But I found that trying to figure out 5 things to tell you about me that would be relevant to you, that I found a little harder. What do you want to know? Where do I even start? I hope that what I did pick as the 5 things to learn about me resonates with you and is what you want to know. And please know you are always welcome to send me an email. My emails are always open. I read every one of them. I love engaging with you. It really is one of the highlights, actually, of having this podcast is connecting with you. All right, let's review 5 things about the show. The show started on October 11th, 2022. And an interesting fact about how the show was launched, my husband actually is the one who accidentally launched the show. What happened was I didn't realize that when I uploaded the trailer for the podcast in my podcast host, that it was going to automatically share to my Facebook page. I didn't know that was going to happen. I had a lot of things I had to learn on how to podcast. And so it appeared. And then my husband, being the, kind person that he is, so excited that I was embarking on this journey, he shared it on his Facebook page. So that's actually how the show got launched. It wasn't launched by me. It was actually launched by him. And that's okay, because it had to get out there anyways. And the self-doubt that I was feeling, it was probably the universe telling me, let me find someone else to launch it for you. So I am appreciative to him, although at first it really threw me off, but I'm appreciative that he did that because it got the show out there. So that's the first thing. Second thing, as of today, the Choose Happy with Marie show is ranked top 2.5% globally. I have seen the show as top 10%. Then I saw it as top 5%. And now it's top 2.5%. Wow. I am so grateful that it's there. I didn't have a lot of expectations when I launched the show. I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into, to be honest. So there are a lot of podcasts out there. So to be included as a top 2.5% is truly special and touches me. It makes me realize that what I have to share resonates with you, and there is more that needs to be shared. So I'm really grateful to be included in that top ranking. So that's number 2. Number 3, countries that are listening to the show. This is really cool. I really appreciate being able to look at the statistics and see where you're from. So I am seeing listeners from these countries. And if your country is not listed, my apologies. I was looking at like the top 15 countries. But here we go. United States, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, United Arab Emirates, South Korea, you're listening, Netherlands, New Zealand, France, Hungary, India, Slovakia, Spain, Iran, Egypt, Croatia, Italy, Turkey, Bermuda, Ireland, Israel, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, love your beaches, and Jamaica too, Nigeria, Philippines, Pakistan, and South Africa. That is just a snapshot of where you're from, and it truly touches me to be able to connect with you in this way. So, number 4, episodes come out once a week. I've been wanting to do more, but with working a full-time job, and I just started a new job, so I only have so much time and energy to devote to the show. I have heard from a few listeners that you would like me to put a second episode, and I will get there, but at this point, balancing day job and one episode a week is pretty much what I can do. I also have the free Facebook group community that I also tend to. So if you hang out on Facebook, come join our group. I post a few times a week there. I post inspiring quotes, affirmations, and just tips to help us choose happy in living our everyday life. So if you'd like to join, the link will be in the show notes. Number 5, top 5 about the show. I thought for number 5 to share with you the top 5 most downloaded episodes since the start of the show. So the first episode that got the most downloads is this one. It is episode number 34, called Unhook from Negativity and Choose Joy. Find joy in your everyday life. In this episode, I introduced a freebie to members. It was called Joyful June Monthly Calendar. It was a PDF that had 30 days of journal prompts for manifesting joy in our daily routine. I talked about what is joy and why it matters in choosing happy for living our everyday life. Too many of us are living joyless everyday lives, and it's not okay. So I hear from listeners that was a great PDF. Make sure you're signed up as a Choose Happy member, because I do create different PDFs and I send it out to members. So the link is in the show notes if you would like to become a member. The next episode that received a lot of downloads is episode number 32, titled Stop Being Afraid of What Could Go Wrong and Focus on What Could Go Right. And this episode had a bonus positive affirmation that you can add to your daily rotation. This episode was actually inspired by a quote from Tony Robbins that after I heard it in an interview, it actually transformed how I live my everyday life. His quote goes as follows: "Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited of what could go right." This quote helped me break free from focusing on negativity so that I could give positivity a chance to enter my life. Too many of us are focused on what can go wrong. Honestly, our brains can make up so many scenarios, often negative, of what could go wrong. Blame it on the negativity bias. Our brain's tendency to focus on the negative as a survival instinct. See episode number 4, titled Why Your Brain Focuses on Negative Things and Tips to Overcome the Negativity Bias, to learn a little bit more about that. It's really been life-changing for me to recognize that there is this inherent focus towards finding the what could go wrong in situations. And for some of us, it is more prevalent than others. The next episode that got a lot of downloads is episode number 28, titled, Are You Addicted to Negative Thinking? Sharing what I did and continue to do to break free from negativity. This was a sharing type of episode in which I shared with you how I was addicted to negative thinking and what I did and I continue to do to break free from negativity. It's not easy, and it's a work in progress every day with slip-ups that can happen sometimes. We are all human. I briefly talked about the negative impact of news and social media and how I limit that in my life. For me, breaking free from the negativity addiction, I compare it to an alcoholic's addiction. I know it is not the same, and that is not my intent. Of what I know of the addiction, to me, it felt that way. You see, the alcoholic can't have that first drink. I can't have the negativity. I walk a fine line every day, choosing to find the positive and living my life. Sometimes I actually have to end conversations with friends because they just won't stop complaining. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to be there for friends and family, listening to whatever is happening in their life and in my life, and I give them the space to do so. But when it becomes the only thing that they talk about, and you've tried to pivot the conversation, it's time to go. It's not about them. It's about protecting you. You love them, but the topic that is being discussed is not productive. It's not taking you in a positive direction. Maybe it's taking you down a rabbit hole that you really don't want to go into. So if these relationships contribute to the negativity that you feel, you need to establish healthy boundaries to walk away without feeling guilty. So check out that episode for more details about it. That's episode number 28. The next episode is episode number 42. Want to feel happier in 5 minutes? 5 happiness hacks to activate happiness. This episode had a bonus happiness affirmation from the Choose Happy affirmation card deck. In this episode, I shared 5 hacks that I turn to for activating happiness in my life. Remember, these hacks are only meant to pivot you towards temporary happiness. Real happiness requires more than just a hack. If you're looking for a back pocket list of things you can do when you're feeling low, this is a good episode to have saved in your podcast app. By the way, did you know that you can save episodes? I do this in the Apple Podcast app. It's actually great so that I can just easily go back to episodes that really resonated with me when I need to listen to them. The 5th most downloaded episode of the Choose Happy with Marie show is episode number 29, titled 5 Choices You Can Make Every Day to Live a Happy and Fulfilling Life. And it had a bonus happiness affirmation. You've heard me say repeatedly on the show that our choices make our lives, both the good and the bad ones. In this episode, I talked about the 5 choices we can make every day that will help us live a happy and fulfilling life. You get to choose if you will live a happy and fulfilling life today. Really, you do. We do this by living our life, by the choices we make, what we choose to focus on, and what we choose to let go of. Check out these 5 choices that are within your control, episode number 29. Those were the top 5 downloaded episodes since the start of the show a year ago. Before I move on to talking about me as the host, I want to do an honorable mention of the top 6th episode that had the most downloads. It deserves an honorable mention because of its title. Its title is episode number 1, You Are Worthy of Happiness. There's a reason why I made it as the very first episode of the show. I didn't feel worthy of living a happy life. Maybe you might feel that way as well. And it wasn't until I felt worthy that I began to choose happy. This is key as you embark on choosing happy for living your life. When we don't feel worthy, we make different choices. Check out that episode if you haven't already. It includes a beautiful affirmation to help with self-worth. Okay, then let's dig in and learn a little bit more about your host, also known as me. Okay, first thing, let's get the facts out. I'm married, happily married, 25 years. I have 2 young adult kids who are in university. I work a full-time corporate job and work on the podcast on the weekends and in the evenings. Saturday is when the magic happens. It's actually when I record the episodes. So as I record to you right now, it is Saturday. Number 2, for the majority of my life, I didn't feel worthy of living a happy life. That's right. I went through the motions, I put on the makeup, I styled my hair, and pretended to be happy because who wants to hang out with someone who feels down, right? Perhaps you do this too. We look happy, but are we really happy? I taught myself how to live a happy life, reading personal development books, videos, anything I could get access to at the local library. This was before the internet. So number 3, I was doing the top 5, right? With you, we're at number 3. How did the podcast start? Okay. Well, the business first started actually in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. I woke up from a really bad dream. This was right at the beginning of COVID. And in this dream, I was in the hospital room and I saw myself passing away. I don't want to revisit that vision, but that is what was happening. And I remember being told I couldn't say goodbye to my family. That was right at the beginning, if you recall, where we couldn't see our loved ones if we were in a medical environment. Somehow, something reached out to me and said to me, "You are not ready to go yet. You need to teach others how they can choose happy too." So that was how the business actually got started. It started as a blog. Then I shared the affirmations I was using on social media, on Instagram, and they were a hit. Then I realized that the Instagram platform, well, it's not the best place to help people to truly have a transformation. It's more entertainment. So I left Instagram. I'm only there to check in and, direct messages, but I'm rarely there now. And then I felt nudged to start a podcast. Number 4, it took me almost a year to find the courage and vulnerability to speak to an audience and to learn how to podcast. I had so much to learn. Not only did I have to figure out how to communicate content, but I also had to learn the technical aspects of podcasting. That was a huge learning curve that took so much courage and so much vulnerability. As I reflect on this 1-year birthday of the show and I chat with my husband about it, he tells me, I'm so grateful that I did this. I'm mostly grateful for the courage and vulnerability that I was able to find within myself to show up for you. It really has taken a lot to share my story and share what has helped me with you. Number 5, I am committed to you to continue showing up on a weekly basis to empower you and me to ditch the negativity that society puts on us and to intentionally choose happy, the choose happy choices that will support us in living a happy life. We are meant to live a happy life, and I'm committed to having the best life I can, and I hope you will make that commitment to do so as well. So, that's the top 10 about this show and me. In honor of the show's first birthday of season 1, for the month of October, save 30% off of the Choose Happy Affirmation card decks. The link will be in the show notes. Please note that when you go onto the site, it will show the price in Canadian dollars. If you are outside of Canada, your currency will be reflected when you make the purchase. So here's your discount code, birthday 2023. So capitals, BIRTHDAY, all in capitals, 2023. So birthday 2023 is your discount code, and the code will be in the show notes as well. Now, time to share with you this new product offer. So I've heard from several of you, especially internationally, that it costs a lot to ship the card deck to you. So what I did over the summer was I designed an affirmation card deck that you can print out as an instant download. The affirmations are identical to what is in the card deck. You will need to print it out, but at least you will have the card deck. You'll have all 30 affirmations. It's actually great to have the PDF version of it because you can cut it out, you can put it into different books or places in your home, tape it to mirrors. It's great. Also, I kept the price low so that it's accessible to more people. And now with 30% off, it's even lower. So accessible right now. I'm selling this PDF on the Etsy platform as I picked this platform because I think it's easier for you to access in your own country's currency. So enter the promo code birthday 2023. Link will be in the show notes. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to the show. I am so grateful to hear from so many listeners who are seeing the light. You're ditching the everyday negativity and you're living an intentional life, choosing happy. We don't need to live a negative life. We really don't. We're not meant to. We need to get off the hamster wheel of what others think we should be doing with our life and living the life that we know inside us that we should be living. I am here to help empower you and me to choose happy, whatever that looks like for you. Don't let the limiting stories and fear stand in your way. You are meant to live a happy life. And I really hope this podcast can help you see the way forward. Sending much love your way. In honor of celebrating the first year of the show, I would really appreciate hearing from you. I would love to hear about you and how the show has made a positive difference in your life. Please send me an email. I read everyone. The link will be in the show notes. Remember, 30% off of the Choose Happy Affirmation card decks and the new Affirmation PDF download available on Etsy for the month of October. So season number 2, what can we expect? Well, I don't quite know yet, but I've got a few ideas. So grateful for you. Always remember, choosing happy is a choice. It is your choice. Don't let others take this away from you. Wishing you a wonderful week, choosing happy. Cheers! I hope today's episode empowered you to choose happy as you live your upcoming week. Do you want to help others choose happy? Forward this episode to a friend or a family member that may benefit from it as well. You can also leave a review for the show on your favorite podcast app. Doing this will help the show be found in the search bar on the app. Remember to sign up to become a Choose Happy Insider, where you will receive free resources as they become available. Link is in the show's notes. Thank you for listening. Take good care and see you next week.